Demon Slayer, as one of your longest running contemporary anime and even longer with the existence of those final trilogies, it has become a trait that keeps the hopes of its community high, and despite its obvious reason, the amount of passion and commitment poured in is reflected in its end product each season, despite inherently receiving backlash for being born a shounen. And then there's the last season, with lots of doubts and criticisms which are not only where the title that clickbaited you comes from, but also the realization that generally applies to every adapted franchise in the medium. Some sequels are just worse, some are better. Whoa, that is absolutely new! Who else would have come up with such a genius theory, you fucking dickhead? It's a nature you might overlook due to its obviousness, but it's usually what occurs when a plot feels detached from the overarching story on a plain sight in the source material combined with its messy threading. But skipping the in-depth thematic theories for the sake of attention span, let's lean on the most basic patterns Demon Slayer practically has each season. Orientation, which escalates to a complication that ends in climax as what some of you deem generic shounen stuff, to finally wear down towards a resolution. Season 5 is missing that with its relaxing episodic quote-unquote filler-ish format that tries to dig more into the characters which for the most part are still underwhelming as a whole standalone season, let's be real, rather than advancing the plot. So you missed experiencing the kind of adrenaline you usually had. But that's just how it is when you are faithful to the arc. And while it is imperfect and could have been made better pacing-wise, like mixing the previous arc together in one season for a 2-core, it's far from being trash or some other overly negative adjective thrown, as at the very least it managed to be a calm before the storm that subsequently sets all the Hashira so they don't feel like aliens in the final arc. Because you've only seen 5 from the total of 9 initially introduced, and although briefly, Ufotable never missed on these casts' backstories. And of course, having a prolonged significant plot points of sworn enemies finally meeting after decades of distant battles of wit and strength is a pinnacle on top for the audience. We know for a fact that Muzan walking sequence with its Indian movie transitions can be overdramatic. Yet that's exactly the perfect formula and momentum to create the best finale there is, which ends with one of the most hype cliffhangers you can have fun waiting for the movies, because they know making it a trilogy that airs one by one is a strategic cash grabbing. You know that this is it. This is what you've been waiting for following the series from the start, only to have all this hype turned into a sense of eeriness as Hitotsu Toya starts playing. Maybe recency bias is a thing, but I know it wasn't as simple as that when this scene gave me goosebumps. Heck, you don't need this all-powerful dude to know something is off when a terminally ill dude stays calm greeting him when he came to just murder him on the spot. Meanwhile, his kids are playing ball singing a heartwarming song. Yeah, totally nothing would go wrong. Thus, it's essential to realize there exist variables that perhaps are out of the production's control except by causing a major deviation, resulting in the ups and downs, which is totally normal. Maybe it's not the peak anymore in the manga, yet doesn't mean it's going to shrink so deep down in the anime. Or at least that's the case with Demon Slayer, where it wasn't a perfect adaptation, but a decent one. Perhaps another wonder now is what makes a good adaptation.